note, there are important things that you need to note before you turn 55. Someone wrote to the Sunday Times. They said she was using her ordinary account to pay for her house every month. Then on turning 55, the ordinary account is transferred to the retirement account to meet the minimum sum. So she could not use the ordinary account to pay for her house anymore. So because of this problem, she had to sell her house. So very important now. If you want to use your OA to pay for housing before you turn 55, better use all of it. You might not be able to use if it's transferred to your retirement account. Just leave $1 in OA before 55, pay everything. Okay? Now, then a lot of people, they say they want to downgrade to a smaller flat, right? Same problem. Once you turn 55, your minimum sum will be held, cannot use to buy house anymore. So you want to downgrade or change house, you don't want to have this problem, you have to do it before 55. The worst thing, of course, is you sell your house before 55, then one day after 55, you try to buy a new one, not that already. Because the whole minimum sum maybe you cannot use. So, important. If you want to invest your money, same thing. Once you cross 55, you cannot invest anymore. Of course, the first 20,000 OA, first 20,000 SA cannot invest. But let's say you have 100,000 in your CPF. Once you cross 55, it is transferred to your retirement account, cannot invest. You want to invest, do it before 55. If you are paying for your children's university, polytechnic education, same problem. Once you cross 55, the ordinary account cannot be used to pay for the tuition fee. So, if you are nearing 55, straight away pay 1 year, 2 semesters. I've seen people, they 1 day late now, means cannot use it. So these are some of the things that you need to take note. So basically, I hope what I'm trying to do today is to explain that when you have more detailed information, it actually helps more people to decide. Because basically, CP9 is a very good scheme. For most people, it's very good. I think a lot of people are, as you can see from the statistics, less than 2% have opted in. A lot of people are not opting in because they don't have the information that help them to decide. Right? Once you have the information, you have the steps. But for most people, it's a very good scheme. What is the current minimum sum now? 117,000. Last year, it increased by 11,000. What will the minimum sum be next year? Nobody knows. If I assume it's 11,000 like last year, adjust for inflation, then it becomes 128. If I use the same assumption, 2011,139, by 2013, it will increase at the last year's rate of 11,000 a year. The minimum sum will be 161,000. Some look like 20 years old one. By the time you retire, I think your minimum sum, the calculator run out of battery. Now, of course, you can pledge your property for up to 50% of the minimum sum. Next. Okay. What is the current MediSave required amount? What is MediSave required amount? This is the amount that you must keep in your MediSave if you are able to meet your minimum sum. If you don't have enough minimum sum, this don't apply. But you are able to meet your minimum sum, you must also meet your MediSave required amount, which currently is 18,000. Let me explain. Your minimum sum now is 117,000. If you have less than 117,000 and your MediSave has less than 18,000, don't apply to you. Why? Because you don't meet the minimum sum. If you meet the minimum sum, 117,000 today, then you have some extra, let's say another 10,000 you want to take out. Cannot take out. Why? Because you must also meet the MediSave required amount. And this amount last year went up by 4,500. If I assume the same rate, 2010, 22,500. By 2013, 36,000. Next. What is 50% withdrawal rule? Last year and earlier years, if you have less than double the minimum sum, you can draw half your money when you turn 55. This year, they are phasing up the rule. So this year, if you have less than 195,000, you can draw 40%. Next year, now, I'm assuming that the minimum sum will increase at 11,000 as the earlier calculator. 2010, 30% if less than 182. 2011, you can withdraw 20% if you have less than 173,000. 2012, 10% you have less than 166,000. What does this mean? It means by 2012, If you have less than 166,000, when you reach 55, you can only draw 10% of it. And by 2013, the phase out will be complete zero. Meaning in 2013, let's say your minimum sum is 161,000. If you have less than 161,000, you can draw 5,000. So for the young ones, you must factor this in your planning, right? Because unlike us, the old people, 50% withdrawal rule, you will get half. Now eventually, if you have less than whatever amount will be, it will be 5,000. So by 2013, does it mean that for people who have less than 197,000, why 197? Estimated 161,000 minimum sum plus 36,000 Medisave minimum sum. Does it mean that by 2013, 197,000 or less at 55, you can only withdraw $5,000? Well, if the increase continues as it is, this will be in effect by 2013. How many people will have 197,000 in their CPF by 2013? We know that now the projection is that at least 60% of Singaporeans are estimated to have 67,000 in their CPF by 2013. Thank you.